We'll start standing, so bring your feet close together at the front of the mat. Bring the hands to heart center and press the chest into the thumbs just to lengthen through the spine, even reaching upward through the crown of the head. Start to tune into the body, noticing those sways back and forth, side to side, those natural movements. See if you can ground down a little bit deeper through all four corners of the feet, maybe feeling less of that movement and more stability. Tune into the breath, deepening it, finding your Ujjayi breath. Half sun salutation, A on your inhale. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling, gaze up in between the fingers. And exhale with a flat back forward fold, bringing fingertips to floor. Inhale, half forward fold, maybe bringing hands onto shins to keep that flat back. And exhale, full fold. Keeping a bend in the knees, but reaching the hips high. Maybe use the fingertips to drag the upper body a little bit closer into the thighs. Just feeling that compression into the abdomen. As you inhale, maybe even expand the belly, allowing more air to come into the abdomen. Feeling that pressing into the inner thighs. And on your exhale, just sink a little bit deeper towards the floor. On your next inhale, flat back, circle the arms back up as you tuck the tail and draw the belly in. Reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll make our way back to the floor. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, your half forward fold. And exhale, hop back into downward dog. Bending the knees as much as you need to. Keep the elbows soft as well. Land lightly on the toes. Then you can start to straighten out the legs, making sure to press the mat away from you as deeply as you can. Spread the fingers more. Maybe you make some movements here, pedaling out the feet. Anything that feels good in the body, find that. Bring the feet a little closer together. Inhale the right leg up for one-legged downward dog. And exhale, knee to chest as you hover in plank briefly and place that right foot on the floor. Warrior one, left toes are going to turn out 45 degrees and inhale the arms upright. Keep on drawing the left side of the body forward or right side back, keeping that 90-degree angle in that front leg. We'll find reverse prayer hands. So if you want to bring the arms behind the back, you can either place knuckles together. Maybe the palms touch, but fingertips extend to the floor. A little more advanced, you can join the pinkies, second finger, middle finger. Maybe the thumbs join as well, and you bring those hands a little bit deeper in between the shoulder blades. Send the shoulders down and the elbows back. Lift the heart. So maybe you can stay upright in your warrior one, or maybe you're tilting the gaze back and finding a little back bend. Engage the core. Bring yourself upright. Finding warrior two, release the arms, reach into opposing directions. Back foot comes back just a bit. Lengthen through the insides of the thighs and gaze over that right middle finger. Try to press the mat away in two opposing directions. Feet are nice and strong. Inhale. Exhale, wimble the arms onto the floor. Step the right foot back to meet the left and do your vinyasa. So exhale, shoulders in front of the wrist, bending the elbows back. Coming to the floor, chest before hips, maybe. Hands a little bit farther back for your cobra. Press into the tops of the feet, press the pelvic bones into the floor. Curl the heart forward, keeping shoulders back and down. And roll over the toes, downward dog. If you can, turn the gaze up towards the navel, if not, just in between the thighs. And if you need to relieve any tension from the neck or the shoulders, maybe do some yeses and some nos. And other side, feet closer together. Inhale, left heel up towards the ceiling. And exhale, knee to chest, float forward, left foot comes right in between the hands. Set the back heel down 45 degrees off towards the side and inhale up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1 on the other side. Keep on swiveling the right hip forward, the left hip back, drawing the belly and reaching higher through the fingertips. And we'll bring the arms behind the back for reverse prayer hands again. So if you couldn't quite get the fingertips facing up, maybe you tried this way around, maybe you've made a little more space. If not, that's perfectly fine. Press the hands into the heart to lift it a little bit higher for a back bend, maybe keeping that same bend in the knees if you're coming into the back bend, not straightening out the front leg. Keep the shoulders down, fingertips lifting up. And find your Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Reach out, feeling some freedom in the arms. Back foot comes back just a little bit. Toes face the long edge of the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades in and down, but lengthen out through the fingertips. Send the leg bones back into space as well. Deep breath in. Exhale, windmill the arms to the floor. Stepping the left foot back, find plank briefly. Exhale, lower on Chaturanga. Know you can always use knees if you need to. Cobra, keeping elbows low to the sides. Pressing into the mat deeply, drawing the hips forward towards the hands. Exhale, back to downward dog. Slow down that breath. So we're going to hop to the front of the mat, just this time feet on the outsides of the hands for a squat. So bend the knees, turn those biceps forward, keeping the elbows soft. Hop up and land on either side of the feet. Maybe graceful or maybe not. Turn the toes out, extend the hips towards the floor as maybe the hands come to heart center here. If you need to be up here, perfectly fine as well. Press the elbows into the thighs. See if you can bring more weight into the heels. And on your inhale, drawing feet closer together, windmilling arms up, upward hands pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. At the front of the mat, feet close together, we're going to inhale into Utkatasana, sending hips back, reaching arms forward. And on the exhale, come into balanced crescent pose. So maybe you bind the arms, send the fingertips in the opposite direction of the heel. Inhale back, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Exhale, this time opposite side, balanced crescent. See what you can do, gripping in the inside of that left foot. Inhale back down. Exhale over towards the right side, this time holding. Draw the belly in, turn the heart up. Activate the outside of the left leg, the inside of the right. Deep breath in. And exhale, come to extended wind reliever, standing wind reliever by grabbing onto that left thigh. Maybe both hands join and interlace the front of the thigh. Flex both sets of toes. From here, maybe you use hands underneath thighs to extend the leg, or maybe you can hold here for an unsupported straight leg out in the front. If you like, maybe you fold forward a bit as well, using the core to extend the arms. Send the hips back a little bit to get this. Keeping that flat back, we're coming into Warrior 3, so reach the left leg behind. Squeeze the inner thighs, lengthen out through the fingertips, through the back heel. And then we'll land lightly on those back toes for high lunge. If you didn't quite get the stance, you can rearrange yourself, don't worry. Right knee above the ankle, reaching those fingertips up. Still swiveling the left side of the body forward and the right side back like we did for Warrior 1. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale up for one leg in downward dog. Open up the hip here, bending the knee, trying to bring the right knee right above the left knee. Right hip right above the left hip as well. Turn the heart towards the right side of the room as well if you'd like, but keep weight equal into both hands. On the next inhale, straighten out the legs, squaring the hips towards the front of the room. And if you'd like a 3-legged vinyasa, float forward, 1-legged plank. Exhale, chaturanga, hovering here. Inhale into up dog, maybe bring both feet onto the floor at this point. Send the belly button forward. And exhale, roll over the toes, downward dog. Take a few breaths. Draw the belly in away from the thighs. And we'll bend the knees, look forward. We're going to hop to the front of the mat, maybe this time finding a little more balance, a little more lift. So keep the belly drawn in, engaging the pelvic floor as well. On the exhale, hop forward, keeping the gaze in front of the mat, heels to glutes. Maybe you land back into a downward dog-ish shape. Do this a couple times, maybe finding balance. Some cannonball hops, we call these. Maybe eventually you land in between the hands nice and softly. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, we'll do Padangusthasana, big toe hold. So separate the feet hip distance apart. Bring the peace fingers in between the big toe and that one right next to it. Inhale, flatten out the back. Trying to bring the feet off the floor. The arms are so strong. And exhale, fold forward, bringing the crown of the head towards the floor. Bring the elbows out towards the sides. Spread the sit bones, shoulders away from the ears. You even engage the quadriceps. Eventually you want those hips to be right on top of the heels, so if you notice they're farther behind, keep on tilting that weight forward. On your next inhale, soften the knees, circle the arms all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that on the other side, starting with Utkatasana again, so feet close together. Inhale, fierce pose, belly in, sending hips back, squeeze inner thighs. On the exhale, balance crescent over towards the left side, maybe joining hands, reach up through that right foot. Inhale back, into your squat. Exhale to the right side this time. Engaging the inside of the right foot to find a little more balance. And inhale, back to fierce pose. Exhale over towards the left. This time holding, the more you reach out through the right foot, the more you'll extend out through the fingertips. Draw the belly and curl the heart up a little as well. Inhale. And on the exhale, we'll grab onto that right knee for standing wind reliever. Flex both sets of toes, dragging the knees high into the abdomen as you can, but not leaning back, leaning forward either. Straight spine. So maybe with the help of the hands, if you need, start to kick that heel forward, flexing the toes up. Grounding down through that standing leg a little bit stronger. To maybe extend the right fingertips forward. You're going to have to draw the hip back to do this. Engage the quadricep to keep that leg lifted. Maybe keeping the flat back. Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, send the right heel back. Squeeze the inner thighs. Belly in away from that left thigh. Reach out through the fingertips. Maybe gazing at the floor to help your balance. And when you're ready, right foot steps back. Maybe finding your high lunge stance already, or maybe correcting that stance if you need to. Press the mat away in two, drawing inward through the inner thighs, pelvic floor, the belly. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the whole rib cage. And exhale, slowly bringing the hands to the floor. Lower body is stable. Press the left foot back into one-legged downward dog. Open up the hips this time, bend the knee upward. Maybe those right toes point towards the right shoulder. Left toes, right shoulder. Draw the belly in, turn that and the heart towards the left side of the room if it doesn't cause you to come off the right hand. Inhale, straight legs, square hips, and our three-legged vinyasa, so you can hold one-legged plank, shoulders in front of wrists. Bring it on down, chaturanga, full exhale. Inhale into up dog. And exhale, roll over those dogs, toes into your downward dog. Maybe you're straightening out the arms more, bringing the biceps inward and rotating the armpits out towards the sides of the room. Bend the knees, look forward, maybe finding those cannonball hops again. Maybe you find some air time. Just try to straighten the arms out a little bit more, squeezing the heels in towards the glutes, belly in. Try to lower with control. Feet land lightly on the floor. Inhale, flat back, widen the feet hip distance apart. This time we'll find Padahastasana, so hand-foot pose. You're going to bring the palms underneath the feet, trying to dig the toes into the wrist creases. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, elbows out to the sides like our Padangusthasana. Still tilting the weight forward. Draw the belly in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Sending the hips high. Rotating the backs of the thighs away from one another. On your next inhale, gently release for the hands from the feet, soften the knees, bring yourself all the way up, hands may touch here, and exhale, hands to heart center. Come into Vrikshasana tree pose, onto the right foot first, left toes are going to turn out. You can bring the foot to the calf, the heel, or maybe all the way into the inner thigh. See if you can bring the heel to the back of the thigh so you can press the foot forward, sending the hips more forward. Left knee is still coming out. Inhale, reach the arms up. Stay here, or we'll attempt some twists so you can turn the heart over towards the left knee, reaching the arms out, left hand towards the wall behind you, right hand to the front of the room. Inhale, lengthen back up. Exhale over towards the right this time, squaring the hips forward but opening the heart towards the side of the room. Reach out. Inhale, back up right. And if you'd like to take the back bending version of this pose, you can interlace the hands behind the back. Padahasta, bound hands. Squeeze the elbows in towards one another, maybe straighten out the arms. Send the hips more forward, belly in, curl the heart up. Maybe those knuckles come closer towards the right thigh. If you really want to challenge your balance, maybe you turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. You don't have to. Inhale. Exhale, gently come upright. Undo yourself, left foot finds the floor. Shake out the legs if you need. And we'll do that on the other side. Left foot coming into the floor, onto the right toes. Turn that knee out to the side. Foot to the inner thigh. Hands can come too hard at first as you draw the heart and belly forward and send the knee out. And then extend the arms upwards. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more. Exhale, rotate over towards the right knee, arms in two opposing directions. Maybe turning the gaze over towards that back thumb. Or inhale, back upright. You can look up if you want to really challenge the balance again. Exhale, we'll twist to the left this time, keeping the belly rotated forward, heart coming out towards the side. Inhale, back up. And for the back bend, join the palms this time. Other clasp, your non-dominant clasp, where you arrange the fingers in a way that feels weird. Elbows back, shoulders back as well, lifting the heart. Straighten out the arms, maybe press the hips forward, press the right heel into the thigh. Knuckles can come towards that back leg. Maybe turn the gaze up as well. Deep breath in. And exhale, gently bring yourself upright. Undoing the arms, bring the right foot onto the floor, shake it out. Tricky tree poses there. Don't be discouraged if you didn't get those on the first try. It took me a bunch of them, so. We'll come back to the front of the mat. Standing on that right foot, bring the left knee in for a wind reliever. From wind reliever, grab onto the top of the foot, front of the foot, finding a extended frog pose or your quad stretch here. See if you can bring the knees a little more parallel. As if you had two standing feet on the floor, try to squeeze the knees inward, send the hips forward, bend that back elbow back into space. From here, left leg is going to come back out in front. Extended big toe hold, so maybe you stay with the wind reliever or you can grab onto the inside of the left big toe. Stand upright, maybe right hand comes to the hip, and you can extend that heel forward, flexing the toes up. Send the hips straight down so it's not coming out to the side, it's not coming back. Keep the spine upright as well. From here, bend the knee, finding dancer, Natarajasana. You can grab to the outside or the inside of that back foot or ankle. Extend the right fingertips forward. Lift the left toes. Try to square the hips and belly towards the front of the room. From here, gently release the leg, reaching the arms out forward. Briefly, warrior three. And then step back. We'll find reverse warrior. Deep bend of the right knee, left toes out towards the long edge of the mat. Extend backwards. Press the back leg into the back arm, using the core to keep yourself upright. So maybe you lift the hand. See if you're keeping yourself upright. Hopefully you are. Inhale back up to warrior two. Exhale, side angle so you can have forearm onto the thigh, reaching the left hand forward. We are going to go for a bind eventually, so if you want to go for the bind, right hand to the inside of the right foot. Bring the left hand behind the back, turn the palm towards the wall behind you, and reach for the inside of the right thigh or the outside. Right arm is going to come underneath the right thigh. See if you can join fingertips and turn the heart up towards the ceiling. So if you're bound and you're looking more towards the floor, maybe you stay upright for a little bit longer until you can find the room to tilt upwards. Make sure you're breathing as well. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring yourself back up to warrior two. Inhale, left fingertips to the floor. Bring the left toes onto the floor and extend the right hand up for revolved low lunge. This is going to become a side plank, so come onto the outside of the left foot. Right foot can come halfway back if you're still working on supported side plank. Maybe right foot right on top of the left. Try to stack the shoulders, turn the gaze upward, squeeze inner thighs, lift the hips. And if you'd like to do one thing, just step the right foot behind the back, lift the hips, grounding the feet, extend the right fingertips towards the front of the room, maybe turning the gaze over the fingertips as well. Keep that front elbow soft, bicep turning towards the front of the room, not hyperextending the arm. Inhale. Exhale, coming through. Right hand comes to the floor. Right leg extends up, but then bring it all the way to the opposite side. Ground the inside of the left foot. Right toes reach towards the left side of the room, and the left hand reaches upward. Inhale here. Exhale, one-legged downward dog. On the left foot, extending the right toes up. We'll lower all the way onto our bellies through one-legged vinyasa again. So shoulders in front of the wrists, bend the elbows, both feet can come onto the floor. We're going to find a Sphinx pose, so you can come onto forearms, spread the fingers, reach the wrist creases forward, plant the arms into the mat. See if you can draw the elbows back so heavily that you're shifting the hips forward, also engaging the tops of the feet. Bring the shoulders back, curl the heart forward. We'll go deeper into our back bend so you can ground the knees, bring the toes towards one another, maybe widening those knees a little bit, not too much. Keeping the hands exactly where they are. If you want to lift the elbows off the floor, come into a king pigeon type shape. Curl the heart forward, belly button forward, but turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. Keep on drawing the feet closer, the head closer as well. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly soften, using the hands to press yourself up on the hands and knees. We're going to find a headstand here, headstand B, tripod headstand. Hands are going to come onto the floor like you would for a downward dog. You want to trace a triangle, so the head is going to go right where that top point of the triangle would be. So from here, come onto the toes, lifting the knees, and maybe just stay here with the feet on the floor to help support. Or you can walk the toes in a little bit closer. Maybe one knee comes onto the elbow at a time. You can practice that. Both knees onto the elbow, holding this type of crow shape with the head on the floor. And if you can extend the legs, maybe one at a time, do that. Or maybe you're all the way up into your headstand by now. I'll join you as well. Broaden the shoulder blades, pressing through the head, through the hands to lift up higher through the toes. Squeeze inner thighs, tuck the tail, belly and lower ribs in as well. Make sure you're breathing, keeping the elbows in, not allowing them to splay outward. Deep breath in. And with control all the way to the floor, maybe you're doing your pike, keeping the inner thigh squeezed. Bring the hips over the shoulders and the toes lightly land on the floor. Just give yourself a little counter pose, a little head roll if the arms are tired, upright on the thighs, lightning bolt pose. Allow your body to get used to the sensation of being upright. And we'll bring the hands to the front of the mat. Downward dog. Bend the knees, hop lightly to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, hands into heart center. We'll try that all on the other side. So this time weight is going to come into the left foot as you bring the right knee up for a standing wind reliever. Maybe right hand comes onto the knee here, left as well, pulling the knee deeper in towards the abdomen. From here, quad stretch, so the right heel is going to come back. You can grab onto that or the foot. Try to parallel the knees. Lifting the heart up, send the hips forward, ground deeper through the inside of that left foot. Gently release. Bring the knee back forward into your standing up big toe hold. So you're going to bring the knee up, maybe finding the inside of that big toe. You can extend the heel forward. Trying to keep upright here. Flex those toes. From here, dancer pose. So bend the knee, grabbing the outside of the foot or the inside. Start to press the foot back into the arm. Reach the left fingertips forward to counter your balance. Square the hips and chest. And maybe straighten out that back leg, reaching the arms forward. Briefly finding that warrior 3 before you step back into reverse warrior. Right toes face the long edge of the mat, tilt back, reaching the left fingertips towards the wall behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards one another to lift the heart a little bit more. Inhale through warrior 2. And exhale, reach forward for Parshvanottanasana, side angle. So left forearm to the thigh if that's where you're working at today. Or left hand to the inside of the foot. Press the knee into the arm, arm into the knee. Right arm can reach back, maybe forward for extended side angle. Or we're working on the bind, so flip the palm. Bring the hand to the outside of the thigh. Left arm is going to reach under, maybe bind fingertips, wrist if you're going for a little more advanced. Open up the heart towards the ceiling. Send the knuckles back, keep the shoulder blades squeezed in, especially this front shoulder pressing into the knee, knee pressing back into the shoulder. Make sure you can breathe. We'll inhale back up to warrior 2. And exhale, right hand comes to the floor, left hand lifts onto the right toes for side or revolved low lunge, sorry. This is quickly going to become a side plank, Vinyasa. Come on to the outside of the right foot. Maybe staying here in your modified side plank, or the feet can stack. Turn the heart up a little bit more, the gaze as well. Little bend in that front arm, turning the bicep forward, spread the fingers. Maybe you step that left foot back into space, turn the hips up, the heart up, and reach the left fingertips forward. Making sure you're still engaging the right hand into the floor, the right shoulder blade into the back. Inhale. On the exhale, come back towards a one-legged downward dog. Briefly there, left hand is going to come onto the floor as you come onto the inside of the right foot this time for another version of side plank. Left foot reaches out towards the right side of the room as you extend the right fingertips. Hold here, inhale. And exhale, that left foot's going to come all the way back up, one-legged downward dog. We'll lower to the floor in our Trianga 3-angle, Chaturanga 4-angle. Lower. Come into that Sphinx pose again. Elbows on the floor, spread the fingers. Draw the belly button forward, lift the kneecaps. We'll try for a little twist in Cobra. So you want to keep the heart pretty low. Left hand or forearm into the floor. Can bring the right hand to the inside of the right thigh or the outside of the left. Lift the heart, bring the right elbow towards the left side of the room, but try to square the hips back down onto the floor. If this doesn't feel like much, onto the front hand. Draw the belly button towards the right side of the room. Deep breath in. And switch sides. Right hand towards the center of the mat to help stabilize. Turn towards the left side. Maybe bring the left hand on the floor, finding it inside of the left thigh or the outside of the right. Bend the elbow, try to stack the shoulders. Right shoulder right in front of the left. Draw the belly and curl the heart a little bit higher. Deep breath in. Exhale gently, hands back onto the floor. Press yourself into downward dog. Smooth out that breath. Noticing if maybe this downward dog is a little bit easier than the first ones we did. Hopefully you've made a little bit of space in the body. So we'll bend the knees, look forward, hand, land, hop, land lightly at the front of the mat. Come into Uttanasana. We're going to go a little bit deeper here, finding a bound, revolved forward fold. So you're going to bend the knees enough to bring this left hand to the outside of the left foot. Press into that foot, trying to get the shoulder a little bit more behind the leg. And like we bound the hands for extended side angle, we'll bring the right hand behind, turn the palm towards the front of the room, and see if you can reach for the outside of that left thigh. Left palm can flip up, maybe find the bind. So, press to the insides of the feet and maybe start to straighten out the legs a little bit more. Turn the heart towards the right side of the room, sending the hips straight up. It's okay if the legs are not parallel and the knees are a little bit uneven as well. Hips uneven, that's okay as well. Just see if you can even out a little bit more. So we'll go for a bird of paradise. You can stay right here as you are. Maybe just transferring more weight onto the left foot by lifting the right toes. Sorry, opposite side. Right foot comes onto the floor. Maybe you're coming onto left toes, more weight into the right foot. If you want to bend the right knee, lift all the way up. You can find your bird of paradise. Try to bring the bind a little bit lower. Turn the knee out towards the side, kind of like a tree pose. And you can stay with the leg bend, or straighten out the leg, extending the toes up towards the ceiling. Work on straightening the legs out a little bit more. It may not happen at first, that's okay. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly bend the knee. With control, bring that left foot back down onto the floor. Gently release. Ragdoll, hands to the floor, bending the knees. We'll try that on the other side. So this time we're going to bring the right hand to the right foot, pressing into that ankle, trying to get the shoulder and elbow a little bit farther back underneath the thigh. When you're ready, left hand can come off the floor, turn the palm up, trying to find the outside of the right thigh. Right thigh, right hand can flip up as well, find your bind. So maybe you stay here trying to straighten out the legs, turn the heart towards the left side of the room, reach the hips back, crown of the head forwards. Keep on squeezing the shoulder blades back, especially moving that right shoulder into the leg. Stay here, bring more weight into the left foot, maybe just balancing on those right toes, or you can bend the left knee heavier, come all the way upright. Send the shoulders back and down. Right knee's going to come out towards the side as you move the hips towards the front of the room. Maybe then you find enough space to extend the right toes up towards the ceiling. Draw the belly in. Do what you can. Find a steady gaze out in front of you on the floor to help you balance. Inhale. And exhale, gently bring yourself back down onto the floor slowly. Hands can come onto the floor, shake out the legs, the hips a little bit. Go ahead and bring the knees onto the floor, rest in child's pose, arms along the sides of the body. Slow down the breath. Slow down the heartbeat just by bringing your awareness to it, giving it permission to slow down. Slide the arms out in front, bring yourself up into a tabletop. We're going to work in some balanced downward dog variations, so come into your downward dog. Okay, how this is going to work is the right heel is going to lift up for one-legged downward dog. Place a little more weight into the right hand, gripping more fully there. Left fingertips maybe can come onto the floor, or you can bring the left hand halfway back towards the left foot, or maybe all the way finding the ankle or the shin, calf, anything like that. Keep a steady gaze out at the right hand to help you balance. That helps me anyway, and you see me struggling a little bit. Takes a little bit to find the balance. One thing you can do if this is not working, left foot can come in a little bit farther in so you can grab that ankle a little bit better. Slowly release. Rest here for a minute, child's pose or lightning bolt, and we'll try the other side. It's kind of a fleeting pose. I find a second or two of balance, not something I can hold for a long period of time, so if you're struggling with it as well, you're not the only one. Let's try the other side, find your downward dog. If you know that you need those feet a little bit closer, go ahead and walk the feet in just a little bit. This time lift the left heel up for one-legged downward dog, grounding deeper through the left fingertips, maybe keeping the gaze out forward. It seems a little bit hard to find the right thigh without looking at it, but see if you can maybe do that. Keep on lifting the left leg, that's essential here. The higher that left leg is, the easier it's going to be to find your balance in the pose. Inhale. And exhale, slowly make your way out of the pose, taking a little rest. That was just your basic balance, one-legged downward dog, one leg, one arm downward dog. We're going to try a half twisted bow downward dog. Come up into your basic dog. So what we're going to do here is bring the right heel up. Instead of extending the leg, keep the knee bent. Right hand stays on the floor, gaze out in front as well. Turn the left toes out just a bit, heel can come in. And you're going to reach back and try to find that left foot. Again, right foot, sorry. If you're looking back, you're going to probably lose your balance. So see if you can find it just by keeping the gaze forward. If you find the foot, The body can come a little farther forward here, so it's in between a plank and a downward dog. Kick the foot into the hand, finding your revolved bow. Try to keep the hips and the heart squared towards the front of the room. Maybe you're finding a little balance, maybe you're not. Just see what you can do. And slowly lower. Right foot to the floor, left hand to the floor, rest. You can always do this in tabletop as well. So if you're not quite at the downward dog level in the half revolved bow, come onto the knees, it'll help a lot. We'll try the other side. Up into your downward dog. This time the left knee is going to bend, bring the heel in towards the glute. Ground deeper through the right arm. You can also shorten your stance just a bit as well. Reach the right hand back, finding the right foot. Maybe the toes are splaying out a little bit here too, and then press the foot into the hand. Try to open up at the front of the left thigh, turning the heart forward, hips towards the floor as well. Maybe coming a little bit more into a plank-ish shape than your downward dog if you need to. Inhale. Exhale gently with control, left foot, right hand to the floor, rest. Catch your breath. We'll do some seated forward folds from here. We did a lot of standing balancing work, standing forward folds, so you should be a little bit more prepared to do these. Starting with Paschimottanasana, bring the heels out in front, lengthen the tail behind, sit up nice and tall, keeping the belly in. We'll inhale the arms up towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold forward. First, using the core to see how far you can reach up, then you can find the feet. Send the shoulders back and down, lift the heart forward. And you can start to fold over the legs, keeping the legs engaged in the core as well, not letting that go, just because we have the hands on the feet. Make some more space using your breath, not trying to force your body in a position it doesn't want to be in. If you feel that breath shortening, ease out just a little bit. Gently bring yourself upright. We'll go for Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. So the right leg is going to stay extended. Bring the left foot into the inside of the thigh. Like we did for tree pose, foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot. Inhale, arms upright. And exhale, fold forward. So if the shoulders feel pretty square here and it's easy to find the foot, maybe you move the left knee out towards the side and the heel more towards the groin rather than the inside of the right thigh. If you can then square the hips and chest over towards the right foot still without left hand being closer, right hand being closer, and the left hand not finding it, you can find your deeper Janu Sirsasana. Keep on extending the hip back, crown of the head forward, keeping the shoulders engaged into the back. Press that whole right leg down into the floor. Everywhere you feel a connection, root down deeper. Inhale. And exhale, bring yourself back upright. Lift the left knee, shoot it out to meet the right foot. We'll do the other side. So right foot's going to come into the inside of the left thigh. Press the foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot. Again, if this is easy for you to find the foot with square shoulders, maybe you bring the heel a little bit closer towards the groin rather than that thigh. If you can still turn the heart and hips over and find the foot with both arms equally chest squared, do that. And then fold over the thigh. Draw the belly and turn it towards the left side of the room. We're extending the chin over the shin here, so not just dropping the head to the floor. Seeing how far you can reach out over that straight leg. Inhale. And exhale, bring yourself upright. Right leg comes out to meet the left. We're going to do wide-legged forward fold. So legs are going to come out to a 90-degree angle. A little bit wider if you're comfortable with that. You don't have to stay with the 90 degrees. Inhale, arms upright. And exhale, fold forward. So hands can find the floor. Lift up through the toes. Keep on extending the heels out. And if you'd like to walk the arms forward, you can do that. If you walk the arms forward and you notice the lower back is creeping up behind the hips, maybe arms more out in front, legs a little bit closer together, so you can make the tailbone the farthest point behind you and not that lower back. We'll take a few other shapes in this pose. Revolve first. So you can bring the right leg onto the left thigh. Left arm onto the right thigh. Bring the left shoulder to the left leg. Bring the right arm up. Turn the palm towards those left toes and reach out towards them. Maybe you find them, you don't have to. But if you do, keep on pulling yourself over the thigh. So again, it's not about getting the head to the knee here or the thigh. It's seeing how far you can drape the upper body over the lower body. Keep on turning the heart up towards the ceiling. If you're more facing the floor, maybe bring yourself a little bit farther upright. Inhale. Exhale, walk yourself upright. Even out, rocking side to side on the hips, and we'll do a revolved wide-legged forward fold Parivrtta Upavishta Konasana on the other side. So right hand may come to the left thigh. Start to drape the upper body over the right leg. You can lift the left hand up. Inhale, lengthen through the whole side of the body, pressing that left hip down. Maybe reach out towards the toes or find them. You're going to keep on trying to bring more back onto the leg, turning the heart upwards, keeping the legs nice and strong, especially just because we're over on this right leg doesn't mean the left leg gets to do whatever it wants. Keep it anchoring into the floor as well. Inhale. Exhale, bring yourself back to center. All the way upright. Bring the knees up, feet out in front. Just windshield wipe the knees side to side a few times just to relieve any tension, any stickiness in the lower back. So we're going to take that wide-legged forward fold shape and come into a boat pose and then a supine wide-legged forward fold as well. So we'll start up seating with the knees up. Go ahead and bring the knees out towards the side so you can grab onto the big toes. Lean back. Knees can come in closer and then extend the legs out. They don't have to be completely straight. Maybe you find a little bend. Open up at the heart. Draw the belly in. Keep on sending the feet out towards the sides. Lift the heart, maybe the gaze even turns up towards the ceiling. And we're going to roll back here. If it's comfortable for you, definitely don't have to do this. But maybe you go from here to supine wide-legged forward fold. Roll onto the shoulder blades, bring the toes onto the floor. Try to lower the hips. And then maybe rock yourself all the way upright. We'll do this a couple more times so you can rock slowly back down. Try to parallel the legs up towards the ceiling, pressing into that lower back to decrease the rounding of the back. Roll yourself back up using the core, pressing the feet into the hands. One more time, lower back down. This time we'll try to hold the pose. So tilt the tail back into the floor. You can grab onto the heels and extend the toes towards the floor. It's kind of a fight here between toes onto the floor and hips lifted. So if you notice, toes get deeper to the floor, hips are more lifted. Hips closer to the floor, toes are lifted. So try to even that out. Engage the quadriceps. Keep on pressing the heels into the hands. Deep breath in. Exhale. You can roll yourself back upright, maybe with the toe bind, and then feet will come onto the floor. One last shape with our wide-legged forward folds. If you know Karmasana tortoise or want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. There are a couple variations, and one is with straight legs out and the arms underneath the legs, and one's bent legs behind the head. We're not going to do the legs behind the head, but we'll see if we can find one bind underneath the leg at a time. So left leg is going to lift. Fold forward like you're doing your regular wide-legged forward fold and place the left arm underneath the left thigh. You're going to bend the elbow up into the thigh so we're not hyperextending the arm but keeping it a little bit bent, a little safe. And you can extend the leg back down onto the floor. If you'd like to flip the palm and bring it to the top of the left thigh, you can do that as well. Think of when we were finding our bind in our side ankle pose and our bird of paradise, kind of the same thing here. And maybe both hands join and you can find the spine at the lower back. This is just a one-sided Kurmasana. Gently release. We'll do this on the other side. So right leg is going to lift so you can bring the arm out behind. Flip the palm, maybe bring it to the inside of the right thigh and start to straighten out the leg a little bit more. Again, bring the arm back into the leg here, so we're not just letting the leg of the weight squish the arm into the floor, but bring in some resistance. If you can bring the left arm behind the back, maybe you join the hands and twist the heart a little bit here out towards the left side. Little one-sided tortoise, a little revolved as well, bound. Gently bring yourself upright. Oof. And if you wanted to do it both sides, all you have to do is keep both knees up this time. Bring the arms underneath. Start to send the hips back, pressing the arms back into the legs. Extend the heart forward, and maybe you're up here. If you know the other versions of tortoise, you can find those or chill out where you are. Try to breathe. Maybe you're straightening out the legs more, pointing the toes. Trying to bring that heart onto the floor. Definitely doesn't have to. And when you're ready, bring the knees up high enough so you can bring the arms out from underneath. Bring the knees together and come all the way onto the back. Relax here in wind reliever, rocking the knees side to side. We're almost done with our practice. We'll take a twist to even out the body. So keep a hold of this left leg, bring the right leg all the way down onto the floor. Take the left knee, bring it all the way to the right side of the mat, peeling off the left side of the body, come onto the top of the right foot. Then you can re-extend the left arm out towards the side, turning the gaze over the fingertips. Draw the belly in, turn the gaze towards the left fingertips to stretch out the neck. Palm facing up to stretch the chest and the bicep a little bit more. Slow down the breath, feeling the body kind of lift away from the floor as you inhale deeply. And exhale, notice as the body softens a little bit closer towards the floor. Bring yourself back upright, both knees in towards the chest. And find the other side, left leg extends onto the floor. Take the right knee, bring it out all the way to the left. Right arm reaches in the opposing direction. Again, I'm going to be all the way off the right side of the body. Right shoulder's not going to touch the floor, but I'm going to keep on extending back and trying to squeeze the right shoulder blade back into the floor to help twist the heart as well. So we're not just feeling this in the hips, but at the belly, rotating that towards the right, the heart, even the neck is going to stretch as we turn the gaze over towards that right side. Bring yourself back to center, both knees in. And then we'll bring the feet onto the floor. Little bridge work, not coming into the full pose, but resetting the lower back a little from all those forward folds. I'm just going to lift the hips and do some twists side to side. No real right way to do this. Just finding some movement. Relieving anything going on in the lower back. Gonna set my bottom down, bring the feet in towards one another, allow the knees to come out to the sides, rock the hips back and forth here. One knee may lift a little more at a time to send the other knee more deeply into the floor. And then we'll widen the feet, bring the knees together, do the same thing here, kind of windshield wiping back and forth, finding some space at the outside of the hips, the lower back. And then we'll soften for Shavasana. Legs and arms out right. Try to find a position in which you can stand for a long period of time without having to move. Feel the body make a deeper connection with the floor, softening the skin, the muscles, and the bones into that floor underneath you, feeling safe and supported. Especially soften at the face, allowing the jaws to release. Let go of the gripping from the eyelids or the brows. You no longer need to shape your long inhales and exhales. Just come back to that natural rhythm of breath. And we'll try to stay alert during Shavasana, not allowing the mind wander, thinking about other things, especially not of things maybe in the past or in the future, but try to be present here on your mat. If you find yourself wandering, just come back to softening the body and noticing the breath. Just like in any other pose in a yoga, there are a lot of things we're supposed to be doing. Just because we're in Shavasana now and we're on our backs and our eyes are closed and our muscles are softened, doesn't mean we're completely letting go. The mind is still going to be active here, keeping us alert, present, allowing the body to heal and restore, and just giving the body some muscle memory so it has a deeper connection with its poses when it comes back to the mat the next time. I'll let the video run a little bit longer. Thank you guys for watching. Please like or subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Namaste.